Great job. That was impressive. I'm David Vinca, the founder and CEO of eSpark Learning. eSpark is personalized learning on the iPad. And I'd like to queue up a video just so you can hear from one of our early customers.
I've been in education for 26 years. I started as a teacher in New York City, and I went into administration. There's nothing worse than a student coming into class and being bored or being frustrated because they just aren't ready to handle the work that other kids are. Traditional education has kids in seats, and everyone's learning the same thing. And all the work, even when it's differentiated, isn't differentiated extremely well. I think personalized learning really is the heart of what we try to do, whether we use technology or not. I think technology makes it a lot easier to personalize. And that's what has to start to change. We have to start to use technology to individualize work for kids. eSpark is kind of like a mailman sorting mail. They go through all the thousands of apps that are on the market, and they put the correct app in the correct box. And every student needs different individualized apps. You don't want junk mail. You don't want apps that aren't appropriate to you. You want everything to be just right. It's kind of like specialized learning using the iPad. Using eSpark, we were able to demonstrate quantitatively that students' achievement increased across the board, from our most challenged learners to our brightest students. It was very promising that we're using this tool with an iPad, we can demonstrate student achievement. So much so that we've expanded the pilot from 50 students to 600 students this year. Technology is the future. It's not the answer without personalizing it and making it relevant to kids. So just buying iPads isn't going to do it. You need the ability and the wherewithal to personalize how students are achieving in whatever content area they're working in. eSpark does that. I think Mineola is at the forefront of the future of education, and with a proactive Board of Education, they allow me to explore different technologies and different ways to individualize work for kids. And I'm proud to represent this district, and I think we're going to be looked upon as the future of technology in classrooms.
All right, so that's a little intro from one of our early customers. I think at eSpark we're trying to solve two core problems. The first one is that we haven't met a great teacher that doesn't say, I wish I could differentiate my instruction or personalize my instruction more. This is data from a 5th grade class, an actual 5th grade class in Chicago where eSpark is based. And what you see in each column, you see a student, in this far left column, you see the student is working, this student is at the 1st grade level in reading and the 3rd grade level in math. So this 5th grade teacher effectively has to, in order to meet the unique needs of each student in her class, has to have kindergarten, 1st grade level content, all the way up to 7th grade. The challenge a teacher faces to differentiate and personalize instruction is really daunting, especially when you look at the data. So that's the first problem we're trying to solve. The second problem we're trying to solve, how many of you remember what it was like to be a 4th grader? Raise your hand. A few of you can remember. Okay, fill in the blank. School was boring. You hear people say boring? Challenging? All right, you're the outlier. So when you go into a group of 4th graders and you ask them to fill in this blank, the number one adjective is boring. And it's our view that it's a tragedy that some of the most important work happening in this country is not leveraging the most sophisticated and engaging technology. So those are the two problems we try to solve. Here's how we solve it. So we diagnose students' unique needs using the existing academic diagnostic data that districts have in place. One of the things that No Child Left Behind left in its wake is lots of rich data on student learning needs. We then reflect that back to teachers and have teachers sit down with students and have students select their own academic area of focus. So we try and focus in one area of math or reading. Then we deliver a personalized learning plan that basically harnesses the best educational apps that we can find on the market and serves them up to students according to their needs. We've been able to demonstrate academic achievement gains of at least 2x using eSpark. So students are making an annual year's progress in half of a year. So let me give you a little sense for what the student experience is like. So students log in. When they log into their iPad app, this is what they see. We then ask how you're feeling. So I should do this for this audience. It'd be an interesting to see where people check in. This is often an early indicator something might be wrong. So when you hear an angry or bullied, that's an alert for the teacher to just know that check in with that student later. After they check in their mood, they go through what we call a quest. So we're trying to use video game technology in the learning curriculum. The first step of a quest is a 10-question formative assessment. It's a pre-test. Then we send them to an instructional video that we've curated, and that's something that teaches a new concept or standard. We ask students after every experience, did you like it or not? Because we really want it to be fun, and we want to take their likes and dislikes into account. Then we send them to the best educational software on the market. And I think this is a really important point that's making eSpark so successful, is we believe the most innovative, the most exciting educational software is being built on the iPad, on touch technology, and it's not the big publishers that are doing the best work there. So if you look at the top video games on the new platform, you don't see the big Nintendo and the largest game players. Same is true for education. You're finding small independent developers who are rethinking what software looks like and creating it for the iPad. So our software really helps get students out to those best learning resources. And then to complete a quest, they have to take a 10-question formative assessment to demonstrate mastery of that standard. And then they reteach what they learned for their teacher. And I'll play one last video of a student reteaching what she learned.
I'm doing a survey called What's Your Favorite Electronic Game? And I did a bar graph, and the choices for 7 respondents to pick for was DS/DSi, a Wii, an iPad, or an iPad. For DSi, there was not a lot of people who liked it, so that was absolutely 0 people who liked a DS out of 7 people. For Wii, only 1 person liked it. For iPod, 4 people liked the iPod, which was surprising. For iPad, 2. In the end, in conclusion, I have noticed that more people like the iPod than the iPad, the Wii, and the DSi. Thank you.
So when students reteach what they learn, they really synthesize and understand it in a fundamentally deep way. So that's eSpark. If anyone would like to get in touch, my email address is just david@esparklearning. Thanks for your time.